What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN, USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. I really do encourage anybody and everybody to follow Onyx, their X page. I really do encourage anybody to do this. They haven't posted anything too exciting, right? They're talking about the end of the month, Zealy, the Zealy top 20 are going to get their rewards and all that stuff. But other than that, there's nothing really exciting right now. But in case there is exciting stuff, you should be following them so that you're at least aware of what's going on in the protocol, right? Anyways, XCN here is sitting at about $0.00877 right now. 10 hours and 42 minutes left in the day. We are at the base area of this range that we've been bound by now since the 10th of October here. I do believe it's possible to go lower. I had a dream that OnyxCoin was worth like 15 cents, you guys. So I think the good times are coming. They're about to roll. That's for damn sure. But not yet. Clearly not yet. 10 hours 42 minutes left. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here. Looking at this, scrolling in, zooming in here. We do have I would say it's a bearishly postured RSI in a neutral position. Overall, it is bearish on the 1 hour. Absolutely it is. But we're in a relatively neutral position here. The stochastics are finding resistance as well at the overbought zone here coming down. It would make sense that we probably come down. The MACD is right here at the zero line, probably finding resistance and coming down too. So it would make a lot of sense that we do actually go either lower from here or even lower than this low. I'm not completely convinced that we go below this low just yet. It is possible that we can hold higher lows. It just depends on how we move. If we're doing slow methodical movements down like this, like just slow little 1 hour candles that are slowly moving down. But if we're doing more pronounced candles like this, I suppose it's obvious, right? If we're doing little movements, we're probably going to hold support. If we do larger movements, we're probably going to break through. It just depends on how we move, right? If we're hanging out, then I would expect that we do hold this as a low. If we start moving a little faster, if we pick up the pace to the downside, we're getting some more solid candle bodies. It's very possible that we do take out this low. And if we do take out the low from a low to a high, the expectation therein would be that we go to $0.082 to $0.079. I doubt that we get down to $0.079. I doubt that $0.08 breaks, but you never know. You never know. Just nonetheless a target to consider over the coming days, probably. If not even between like today and tomorrow, really. Because this is the 1 hour time frame, right? Looking at the 4 hour time frame, zooming out a little bit more here, the 4 hour time frame on the MACD has rejected the overbought zone. We are looking like we want to come back up to cross, which is nice. It's kind of a little different than what we saw on the 1 hour. For the next 2 hours and 40 minutes, if we get a couple green candles in a row, I think this MACD would cross green. And to be fair, that's kind of a nice prospect there, because then we have higher lows here. The next high would likely come in above the zero. Man, the last time that we crossed above the zero on the 4 hour MACD, we saw a little bit of movement here. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't the craziest move, but from a low on what was the 30th of September to the high on what was the 2nd of October, we saw a 30% pump in 2 days. So that's not bad at all. That's actually the end of the day on the 30th and the middle of the day on so not even a full 2 days, we saw a 30% pump. That's nice. I would take a 30% pump from here. That'd put us back above about like 1.1 cent, if not even a little bit higher than that, I think. But I digress. The MACD, again, if we close this 4 hour candle green or we close the next one green, I would say we'd have to probably close the next two green and move up a good little bit. We could actually cross this to the upside, and that would nullify the bearish perspectives that we have on the 1 hour time frame. Because to be fair, typically in this kind of situation, I would undoubtedly expect that we continue to go lower and that we probably do hit the oversold zone. But we could bounce from here. You can bounce off the 50, and if that happens, we're probably going to get some continuation to the upside. The RSI can also bounce off the 50 here. Even though you're overall bearish, you could shape up to be bullish. So if this 4 hour does close green and the next one closes green consecutively, that could promote some growth here in the MACD, and that could promote growth overall in the price. The RSI here is shaping up as well. To be fair, on the 4 hour time frame here, we've got higher lows and higher highs, and we're actually at a point where you'd expect to find support and continue to move up. So that's the expectation there. Hold on, you guys. Hold on real quick. Let me. I got my daughter right here with me. She keeps putting up her feet. She's trying. Yeah, you think you're being silly. Anyways, the 4 hour RSI. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay. it looks like we'd be moving up. I think that we would be moving up, probably getting into the overbought zone with this next drive too. We'd probably move up on Sunday or Monday into the overbought zone, and that's whenever sparks should start to fly. Because not only did we, whenever we crossed above the zero here on the MACD was that bullish, but also, the last time that we were overbought here on the RSI directly coincided with that. So we've got things that coincide with that idea as well, being in this uptrend, being here at the low ends, and we would likely get overbought at the same time that the MACD crosses the zero. That gave us a 30% pump in less than 2 days. I bet we see similar results, if not better results. We're from a lower price after this massive shakeout crash. I really wouldn't be surprised if we saw a larger pump overall than 30% from here. The stochastics as well, to be fair, they're crossed down, which isn't nice, but you got out of the oversold zone and you're here. Typically, you would expect to go to the overbought zone in a situation like this. So two indicators here on the MACD and the RSI that are, I think, shaped up to be bullish. The stochastics is kind of a question mark, but also shaped up, I suppose, to be bullish. It just depends on what we do with the next, let's say, 6 hours, 6.5, 7 hours. Because if we close this green and we close the next one green, I'd be very, very confident on these 4-hour time frames that provides this as a higher low. That's a low there. We've got a low here, a higher low, and we're ready to move up higher. Thankfully, not breaking down here. But again, if we do break down, if we do break this zone here, I would expect it's a very short-lived moment, and we probably come right back up afterwards. It's not a big deal if we do, okay? Daily time frame here, looking at the daily RSI, we do have higher lows here, which is nice to see. We do have the stochastics outside the oversold zone, but it's a little bit bearish, to be fair. And the MACD is dying off in bearish momentum. I don't think we have bullish divergence. No, we don't. But we do have bullish divergence on the oscillators there. There's some positive things to see here, but I would say overall, if we're looking at the daily time frame, to be fair, all these indicators are bearishly postured right now. So there's not really a whole lot to go off of there. The 1 hour looks bearish. The daily looks bearish. The 4 hour has bullish hopes. We're at a make it or break it point where we either do or we don't go lower. You know what I mean? And if it happens, again, it's not a big deal. We likely do hold support at 008 or 0079, somewhere in that area at the lowest. But we probably would, again, if we move down, we'd probably recover in a very short amount of time and be moving up anyway. So regardless, move down, move up, whatever, it's all going to take us higher at some point. And I do believe that looking at this here, from this relative high up here, the current cycle high, to this low here, not this low, from that high to low, we're right here at the 069 right now, the pink line. We're right here. I would think that the next target area to consider would be something on the lines of about 1.2 cents and then 1.5 cents. And then once we're above 1.5 cents, we're home free to prices that are at 2.4 cents and beyond. Ultimately taking us to prices that are above this high, which would go all the way up to about 8.2 cents to 32 cents, somewhere in this range here. Ultimately, I think we're going to get to 26 to 32 cents by the end of the year, if not even by the end of November. We've got a large move incoming. We've got continuation of this move here that we saw earlier this cycle incoming. OnyxCoin's fundamentals have only gotten stronger. Absolutely, they've only gotten stronger. We're talking about OnyxCoin every single day because we're trying to get people involved. We want people to invest. We want people to make money with us, right? And stake and make their passive income as well. Anybody and everybody, if you haven't heard of OnyxCoin by now, I mean, this is a golden opportunity to get in. And if not, it's a golden opportunity to learn a lesson, right? Whenever you have a double bottom after a massive move like this, well, we'll see what happens. But I'm expecting it to be rather miraculous, to say the least. From a high to a low here, we're not really in an area that makes the most sense. Let's take a different fib. Let's take this one. We'll take this high to this low here. Yeah, the 2618 finding a double bottom at the 1414. That's fine. It's somewhat unconventional. Typically, you'd expect 2618 to the 1618. If not there, then the 1272. But the 1414 is fine. When we move up higher, the next target area at a minimum would be 7 to 10 cents, and likely we don't stop there. We likely do go to that 20-cent area and beyond, right? I have a hard time believing that after all this time, after basically a year's worth of consolidation, okay, shaking out, building, developing, only getting bigger and better as a chain itself, and then finding a double bottom amidst all this, I have a hard time imagining you're going to stop at the first target area outside of where you stopped here, right? You're clearly respecting these fibs. Like, it's very obvious that you're respecting these fibs, right? The 2618 was your stopping point, 786 here, 382 there. You found direct support at all these levels, right? Direct resistance there in this area as well. Support at your golden ratio. I would expect then that, again, the next target area is technically the next fibs here. Thinking logically, after all this consolidation, is that the next stop? just the immediate next target, or would it make sense to go to the target afterwards? I think, to me, it makes sense that we go to the target afterwards. It's like here, from a high to a low. Was it the first target area that we stopped at after all this time from March 2024 until December 2024, basically 3/4 of a year of consolidation? Did it make sense to stop in the primary target zone or the secondary target zone, right? We stopped at the top of the secondary target zone. It just makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, that we've got a lot of growth to go in a very short amount of time. It all starts here. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, all right? And buy the dip, man. This rip is coming. It's coming. It's going to be here faster than we thought. I guarantee you, I already know what's going to happen, man. There's going to be a ton of messages up here saying, man, I watched your videos. I bought OnyxCoin. I sold out because I just didn't believe in it anymore. I should have known. I did know. I was focusing on the price too much. I should have been looking at the fundamentals. I know the fundamentals, and I knew it was strong. I knew it would do this. I don't know why I didn't get in or why I didn't buy more. And you're also going to get the comments up here that say, hey, I know you've been talking about this thing since March of 2024, but is it a good time to buy now that we're at new relative highs, cyclically speaking? And the sad reality is that even at 5 cents, yes, it's still a good time to buy because we're going to 26 to 32 cents. That's still going to outperform the average altcoin probably by the end of this year. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.